Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series. Hey guys, welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my pickups for June 2013, and we're going to start off here with what you guys just saw recently. This is, of course, the EverDrive N8 for the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Obviously, I did a whole video on this, which I highly recommend you guys go and check out. The short version, of course, is that this is a flash card for the Nintendo Entertainment System that I got from retrotowers.co.uk. That, in essence, what it does is every game ever made for the NES is on this SD card here, and then you put it in here, and you can play them all of them, off of just this one cartridge, which is really, really cool. But like I said, I did a whole video on this, and you're free, of course, to go and check that out. But as I said in that video, and I will say once again, if you go to retrotowers.co.uk and you buy this or anything, and you use my name as a coupon code, AdamK, which I'll be displaying there, you get 5% off your order, no matter what it is. So, highly recommend you go and do that if you want anything like this. But yeah, the EverDrive N8, I really like it. I like all the EverDrives. These things are really well made, and honestly, I recommend getting any one of them because they're just a really cool thing. They're really convenient. It's something that we all wish we could have had when we were kids. But just because I have something like this, it doesn't stop me from collecting actual legitimate cartridges. Because here, I also bought Star Wars for the NES. Not that great of a game, but it doesn't matter. I still wanted to get it because I like Star Wars a lot, and I like collecting stuff for it. And this is one of the Star Wars games that I did not have my hands on. Though, honestly, I can't even really remember how it played. But, yeah, sorry about that. But Star Wars, I picked it up. Along with that order, the EverDrive, I also picked up Doge the Giant. Now this is an interesting game because this came out in Japan and Europe for the Nintendo GameCube. It was never released in North America. I'm honestly not really sure why. This is essentially a god simulator type of game where you play as this big guy named Doge the Giant. It's kind of like Black and White, if you guys remember that game. Like I said, I'm not really sure why it didn't get a North American release. Originally, it came out on the Nintendo 64 disk drive system in Japan, and they eventually updated it, changed it, and ported it to the GameCube, obviously. There's advantages to either having the Japanese or the European version. If you have the Japanese version, it will be an NTSC, it will display properly, and I think it'll probably end up having progressive support, 480p component video. Whereas the European version does not display properly, which is unfortunate, but it'll probably display okay on a PAL monitor. I do have one monitor that supports PAL, so if I ever want to sit down and really play this, I'll be okay. But of course, the advantage to the European version is that it is in English, and that kind of more important, honestly. So, but that's me. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, so I picked that up, and I'm happy to have my hands on it because it's kind of a cool and unique game. It's just unfortunate that it was never released here. Now, you guys saw earlier in the month, hopefully, I did a video on this game. This is Ducks 1.5 for the Sega Dreamcast. This is a new Sega Dreamcast game, or, well, basically new. It's an updated version of Ducks, which was a Sega Dreamcast game released in, I believe, 2009. Maybe it was 2010, but I think it was 2009. And, yeah, they just basically went back and made a bunch of changes and upgraded it. And this game was available for free to anyone that already owned Ducks. But what they would do is they would send you just like a normal CD in like a paper slip. In my case, I had both the regular edition and the limited edition version of Ducks, so they were awesome enough to send me like the full retail version of this for free. So I want to give a huge shout out to HughCast for having done that. That was just awesome of you guys. You didn't have to do that. But this is something you can still go out and buy. In fact, there's a limited edition version of this, which I don't have yet, that has the game plus a music CD, totally different artwork. I went ahead and I bought that, and I'm waiting on it, but of course I'll show you guys just as soon as it arrives. In that same video, though, in which I showed you Ducks 1.5, I also showed you Stormwind. Now this is not an updated version of a game that already released. This is a brand new Sega Dreamcast game, and it is an incredibly impressive one. This is probably the most impressive independent Dreamcast game ever made, purely from a technical standpoint. You just have to play it. I could easily believe this came out during the original Dreamcast run. It's just, it's very impressive, and I actually enjoyed the game quite a bit. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at shmups, which of course this is, but yeah, if I was, you know, I would really, really like it. It does play easier than Dux 1.5, but as I said in that video, it's mostly because it's not nearly as restrictive in the atmosphere. Dux 1.5 has a lot of obstacles in the way, and you have to get around them. I suck at that. Whereas this is much freer type of space. So it's an easier game, I think. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And of course, this is the collector set, which I showed in that same video, as I mentioned before. It comes with the game. It comes with this awesome case, which is magnetized. It comes with this little like ship, which I'll take. You can see right there. That's just kind of cool. It comes with a guide, and it comes with a bonus music soundtrack as well, as you can see there. And it comes with some just promo things, including something that had Ryo Hazuki on it, so it was going to stay here forever, and a little Rush Rush Rally Racing promo. So, Stormwind, this would probably be the highlight pickup of the month, honestly, just because a new Sega Dreamcast game is always going to win by default, and yeah, this is a really, really solid one, especially the Collector's Edition. I believe this Collector's Edition is sold out, unfortunately, but the regular edition is still available, I believe, at PlayAsia. And like I said before, Dux 1.5 is also available at HuCast, but I would recommend getting the limited edition. Moving on to things you haven't seen, I picked up a couple of original Xbox games here. I got Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb for the original Xbox. Honestly, I have not really played this. I just got it because it's an Indiana Jones property, and I don't think any of his games were actually any good, but yeah, I just, you know, I like the Indiana Jones movies, and I just kind of wanted to get games to kind of go along with it. You know, I have a couple for the, a couple of them for the NES, and I still need to get the one for the N64, but I haven't managed to track that down just yet, but I will at some point. But yeah, that's, you know, honestly, I can't give you much of a gameplay review at this one because I really haven't played it much. And unfortunately, the same goes with Mercenaries, which is a highly regarded game. I know that a lot of people really like this. It was LucasArts and Pandemic, the same dudes who made Star Wars Battlefront games, which I absolutely love those games. My girlfriend told me that this game is, you know, phenomenal, so I pretty much picked it up because of her recommendation, but I have not had the time to play it because I work too much. But I will, I swear, at one point I will play this game. Moving on, for the PlayStation 2, I got Time Splitters, which is a game I'm sure most people are familiar with. This is a very popular series that unfortunately has kind of gone away. It should come back. This was exclusive, I believe, to the PS2, although there may have been a PC version, but there was no Xbox version of this, which was unfortunate because I would have rather had it on the Xbox. This is a very common game now. I think I got this for like $1. All the Time Splitter games are cheap for some reason. I think they're just tons and tons of copies. If I recall, the people who, a few of the people who made GoldenEye made the Time Splitters games, which explains part of why they're so awesome. And I know that Free Radical went on to make a game called Second Sight, which is one of the greatest Myst games of all time. I love that game, and so I bet that I would like this. So I think I have all the Time Splitters games now. I have to double check on that. And at some point, I got to sit down and just do a power marathon of all of them. I'm really looking forward to it. This game, this is Enemy Zero for the Sega Saturn. I got this game because I was watching one of Sega CD Universe's, Vampire Mike. I was watching one of his videos, his pickup videos, and he mentioned this game. He had bought the Japanese version, and he just said, oh, it's a phenomenal game. It's kind of like a Resident Evil game, and it's part of the D series. D was a Sega Saturn 3DO PS1 game, very similar to Resident Evil. D2 was a Sega Dreamcast game, also similar to Resident Evil. And he said Enemy Zero was part of that series, which I did not know, so I decided I would pick it up. But I decided I wanted the American version. But I have not had the time to play it either. I just got this. So I'm glad to have it in my Sega Saturn collection because I love having full-boxed American Saturn games because they look awesome on a shelf, and there's a lot of cool stuff on the Saturn that I just never got to experience because I didn't have one growing up. So I'm looking forward to being able to play that at some point. Moving on. Disneyland Adventures for the Xbox 360 Kinect. And I'm sure you're thinking, why the fuck did you buy that? And I bought it for one reason. My other channel, Game Society Pimps, we have been doing a lot of comedy videos with this thing. This game is absolutely hilarious to play and make fun of. So I highly recommend you go and watch our series that we're doing with this game. I play Mickey Mouse in it, not the actual game, but in our videos, because I'm told anyway, I do a really good Mickey Mouse, which I will briefly do here. Hi everybody, welcome to Disneyland! Yeah, so I do that, except my Mickey Mouse is, well, Dickie Mouse, he's an asshole. But yeah, so the game itself is really kind of a bizarre idea. You use the Kinect to control a child, and you wander around Disney World, and you theoretically would go on all the rides, except that wouldn't make a very good game, because the rides aren't interesting if you're just standing there in your living room looking at video footage of rides. So instead, what they have you do is meet up with a bunch of characters, like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Buzz Lightyear, whoever, and they basically give you these dumb little missions, and you go off and find things and bring it back to them. So it's kind of a really weird and terrible game, but it's perfect for making fun of. So I think if you guys like, well, if you like video game playthroughs that are hilarious, I highly recommend going and watching that. But the actual game, unless you're desperate for Kinect titles, I wouldn't bother. For the 360, I got Minecraft, the Xbox 360 edition, physical release. I wanted to pick up Minecraft, but as a lot of you know, I do not support digital gaming. So I was very happy that they decided to give this a physical release. So I naturally decided to buy it right away. It's only $20 brand new. And while I have not had the time to play it yet, I wanted to show my support for it. So I have it, and I'm very happy to, because I kind of get I could totally be wrong here, but I get the feeling this is going to be a valuable game at some point. It's a major release late in a console's life that actually doesn't have that many copies. I don't think the majority of people who want Minecraft on the 360 will buy this, because they already have the digital version. Down the line, when you can no longer get the digital version, this will be all you can get. And I'm just guessing here, but I think that will make it valuable. But it may not, who knows. But regardless, that wasn't my reason for getting it, it was because I wanted the game. So, yeah, that's it, and I'm sure you guys all know a lot about Minecraft, so what else is there to say? Moving on, I got Skyrim, finally, the Legendary Edition. I do not own Skyrim. Well, I do now, but I did not own Skyrim. Just because I knew through Bethesda's history that they would do this. What Bethesda always does, and I love them for this, is that once they finish the game, and they finish all the DLC they're ever going to make for the game, as was the case with Oblivion, as was the case with a lot of the Fallout games, they release a version like this that has a second disc that has all of the DLC on it. You just put that in, you install it, you don't have to download anything, which means down the line, again, I will be able to install that DLC even if servers are long done. I will have access to all that content, which is something I am a big fan of. And of course, I bought it new to support them. So, yeah, there you go. I don't know why they have the audacity to put that on any game, because that's what you end up with when you do that. Nothing is better with Kinect. But we're also going... Alright, so that's it for the stuff I bought, but we're not done. I have something new I've never done on an episode of PlayLoad here. I was sent a couple of packages. This was absolutely free, and this I did in a trade. Now, as you can see, I have not opened them. So I was thinking I would go ahead and open these up on camera for you guys, and we would all take a look and see what my new pickups are that I have not even seen yet. Would you guys like to do that? If you said yes, you're still here. If you said no, you already left. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, and you're going to have to bear with me here, because I'm going to have to do this one-handed. Which will not be super easy, but I will try. This first one is from a guy named Rafkin Affin. I'm sure I butchered that, but he's a big fan of our Game Society stuff. And yeah, he decided he wanted to send this to me. So I will try to do this one-handed. Please be patient with me, everyone. This is hard enough to do with two hands. Alright, moving on here. Okay. Sorry. I need a second hand. You guys can look at Minecraft while I do that. And then you can look at scissors. Okay. So we have this out, and inside what we have is a PS2 copy of Grand Theft Auto 3, disc only, and we have Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for the original Xbox. And there's a letter, which I will read here. Dear Adam, Aaron, and Emery, which are my cohorts on Game Society, here it is, and if it isn't too much to ask, can I maybe get a shout-out? You definitely get a shout-out right here, man. Shout-out to Rafkin Afiri. I'm sorry if I can't... It was Rafkin, that's an A. Sorry, your handwriting is not perfect. P.S. Rafkin is pronounced like Rafiki. Okay, thank you for telling me that. From The Lion King. Afriki is pronounced with the same emphasis on the I that is in Rafik, or Rafiki. Keep up the good work. PPS also added something extra, and I assume that's what this is. So thank you, Rafiki, for sending this to me. That was really awesome of you. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead, and I obviously have not played this yet, so I can't tell you. Although, of course, I have played Grand Theft Auto 3. I have this for the Xbox. And yeah, so thank you very much for that. You did not have to do that, and I really do appreciate that. Now we're going to move on to this package, which I got from a guy named Dennis Hop. We did a trade. This was not free, but he has been really cool to be patient with me because I got this about a week ago and I've not been able to open it for, well, this video. So I have to send him some stuff, which I will. But yeah, so I basically told him, like, do you mind waiting? And he was like, yeah, no, that's fine, that's fine. So here we go. I'll just try and tear this here. All right. Sorry about doing all this one-handed, guys. Sorry about the jump cut there, but that was proving impossible to do with one hand, so I had to stop for a moment, just for your benefit, trust me. But I have not finished opening it. Here's the last piece of tape. Let's take that off there, okay? And lift this up. Inside, we have a letter here. Hey Adam, I'm really sorry for how long it took to ship. This is obviously out of date because it took me much longer for me to open it than for you to ship it. I shipped the games, but to make the long story short, it took me forever to find a box. I know, poor excuses. Trust me, man, we're cool. Don't worry about that. Plus, anyway, I had a few extra things to make up for it. Wow, that was not necessary, my friend. You did not have to do that. Also, I'm including a new CD of one of my friend's bands. I'm not sure if it's your style of music, but we are just trying to spread the word. It's available on iTunes and Best Buy. Thanks for the trade, Dennis. We will see. I actually don't listen to a whole lot of music, but I assume that this is it. Welcome to Rio Grande. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Look that up on iTunes. Welcome to Rio Grande. It's got 7 songs on it, which you can see there. So what we have here is a few things. We have Dragon Warrior for the NES. We have Golgo 13 for the NES. Mickey Mousecapades for the NES. Pac-Man for the NES. Willow for the NES. We have Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. I think this was one of the extras. Rocket Knight Adventures. Very happy to finally have that for the Sega Genesis. Burning Force for the Sega Genesis. We've got Paperboy for the Sega Genesis. NBA Hang Time for the Super Nintendo. Got some bubble wrap here. We got what we got? Gex 64 for the Nintendo 64. F-Zero X for the Nintendo 64. Clay Fighter for the Super Nintendo. Kablooey for the Super Nintendo. Super Putty for the Super Nintendo. A boxed copy of The Lion King for the Sega Genesis. Put it over there. King's Bounty for the Sega Genesis. And finally, we have a boxed copy of Zoop for the Super Nintendo. So there you go, guys, including all those things I've just seen for the first time. These are all of my pickups for the month of June 2013, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and a big shout out to Rafiki and to Dennis for all of this stuff. And of course, retrotowers.co.uk, where I picked up the EverDrive, and I highly recommend that you do. So there you go, and see you guys later.